you can't be an absentee owner. If you want to just stay in the van and do installs and not be a business person, then you're not going to grow.
Welcome to the Lion's Den, hosted by Lance Bachman.
Everybody, welcome to this edition of the Lion's Den. I have a special edition. We have Carl Ippoliti. He's the marketing manager from Peirce Phelps that was bought by Watsco 2 years ago, and he's been there for 29 years. You've seen a lot change in marketing. You've helped a lot of HVAC and plumbing companies over your years. Welcome to the Den. Carl, thank you so much for being here, my friend.
This is unbelievable. I'm excited.
Good. So why don't you tell the viewers who you are? I mean, you have 50 years of experience.
50?
Well, 49, but I round up. I'm a round up guy.
Okay. All right. Make me feel old. Sure.
So you got 50 years of experience, 30 in marketing in the HVAC industry. I mean, that's a lot. Have you seen a lot change? Can you tell about give everybody your quick bio real fast?
19 years at the heating and air conditioning level with a home-owned company, and then 29 years at Peirce Phelps.
29 years in Peirce Phelps. I mean, that's a long time to be at one place. I mean, first of all, they sold to Watsco, I think, in 2019, correct?
Correct.
Happy, you feel good, a lot of change there. What's going on?
It was good. It brought us a lot of assets that we didn't have before that we were trying to get to. It just helped us get to those assets faster.
So a lot of people in the Den are from all over the country watching this show, especially HVAC people that tune in. Here's a question for you. What does Peirce Phelps do for our local people? Because I know Peirce Phelps, you guys handle, I think, probably 90, 120-mile radius.
We go all the way out to Altoona, all the way north to almost New York, and all the way down to Cape May.
So a little bit bigger. So tell them what Peirce Phelps does for the people that don't know.
Well, we sell heating and air conditioning predominantly. Carrier and Bryant are our two brands that we sell. And we like to just do more than just bring a box. We like to bring value. We like to help our dealers and contractors get to the next level. We like to think of ourselves as a partner. And a lot of the contractors, they were in the business as a service tech, as an installer. They wanted to become a contractor. They want to own their own business, and they need some partnering. So we like to bring value. So
the bottom line is 29 years. You've seen the ones that have done a well job doing their business, great job some, and you've seen the ones that done a really shitty job. What would you say the difference between the ones that do it very well and the ones that have done it just really shitty? Luck?
No, it's nothing lucky. It's the ones that know how to market. They're the ones that will grow.
The ones that do great marketing, digital marketing.
So quick, the industry says that to maintain relevancy in the market, you have to budget 3 to 5% just to maintain relevancy right now.
For your girl to still look at you with a nice shirt on.
What's that?
Just for your girl to look at you with a nice shirt on. You got to spend 3 to 5%.
Oh, I would love for a lot of girls to look at me, except for my wife would not like that. Anyway, yeah, just to stay relevant, you need 3 to 5% budget, and most contractors cringe when they hear that. To have a little bit of growth, you need 6 to 8% market budget for marketing. If you want to grow, you need 8 to 10% of your budget has to be towards marketing, and that's where the problem therein lies. They don't want to. A lot of contractors don't want to market.
It's funny because you get that point, and you're right. I mean, so many times we're like, oh my God, 8-10% of my business. I'm like, this isn't just magically going to happen. Like, I don't walk on water, even though people think I do. I don't. I mean, it's not just going to happen. I was showing you the results of that person. They were 10 times their sales, 6 times their sales, month over month. But you also saw their budget. You saw you have the weather correlation. People just think you hire a digital marketing company and you give them. I used the phrase someone's just going to give me $500,000 a month, and it's going to. I said we won't even take you at this point. I mean, do you think people just don't understand what it takes to grow their company?
I think most contractors, and that's not meant to be disrespectful, they're very good at putting HVAC equipment together. They're very good at putting vents together, airflow, all that stuff, making your house all nice and comfortable. They just don't understand marketing. They don't understand that it's not something you turn off and turn on. Yeah, it has to be a consistent message going out. The other thing I think contractors don't understand is the verbiage, the terms. So if I talk to you about HVAC and I say words like SEER and AFU and HSPF and EER and stuff like that and static pressure, blah, 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 exactly. You have no idea what I'm talking about. I've lost you. When marketing people, especially in the digital world now, talk to HVAC contractors, a lot of them just don't understand the language. We speak English, but we're not understanding each other. I think a lot of marketing companies need to slow down when they're talking to HVAC contractors and explain things slowly, what it means. And then the next part of the equation is you have to be able to prove what's working and what's not working. That's the number one thing I've seen with digital marketing. Like we bring them to the website. Okay, does the website suck? If it sucks, it ain't going to sell for you.
So let's jump into that because I agree with you. But you said something to me. So I showed you, we walked through line reporting. We're walking through, you promote line reporting. You see the results.
Yes.
You see how it all correlates. The proof's there. There's no arguing that. But you made a point. You said, how do you get this information? Because a lot of people don't want to give you access to Service Titan or whatever that tool is, CRM that's tracking their information and their phone calls, where I said to you point blank, then you're not the client for one SEO. Like that, I don't give a shit what you don't want to give me. If you're not want to give me your numbers lie. People lie. Numbers don't lie, right? I mean, and you said, well, are you getting it? I'm like 9 times out of 10 we do.
Yep.
If not, why would you think a business owner shouldn't give a digital marketing partner? Because we're not your vendor. When I hear the word vendor, I laugh. I give you the fucking double deuces and I say, good luck trying to find someone like me. And that's not being arrogant, just good luck, right? Why do you think somebody wouldn't give you access?
They're worried that it might be shared.
With who?
But I'm just telling
that's
you that's
definitely going to get you fired, shared someone's information.
Yeah, but that's what they're afraid of. Data talks, bullshit walks. Okay, so if you want to marry up with any marketing company, a digital marketing company, if you want to understand if it's working for you or not, it has to be transparent. You have to be able to talk to each other and say, this is working, this is not working, here's why it's working, the phone calls are up, why are they up, the leads are coming through, the impressions are coming through, the click-throughs are coming through, your sales are up, I got to see your sales. So the only way I can do it right now for Peirce Phelps is I got to look at units. Did unit sales go up? Did they go up? Well, something's working, but I really don't know. Was it your marketing or was it something else? So, you showed me the lines report, the portal, and everything you're measuring, everything you're collecting, what you see from the dealer side, the contractor side, the numbers you see, and it should be very transparent. And I don't know why a dealer would not want to share that information with you because they're going to make an investment with you.
Hey, here's the thing. What do you think about the weather? Being able to forecast and show actually weather contributes to your leads. What do you think about that?
I think that's what it should be. I mean, that's when a homeowner who doesn't understand HVAC, they go into panic mode because they know the forecast is coming. And like Memorial Day weekend, quick story, I don't mean to digress. My son had recently had a baby, and he was coming up to visit his in-laws on a very forecasted hot Memorial Day weekend. This is 10 years ago. And my in-laws, and I hope they're not watching this, they didn't know who to call. The air conditioner wasn't working. So they just got a postcard delivered to the house. I'm not going to say who. It's actually one of your clients. And they just called. But the client was smart because they sent postcards out in front of the weather forecast. So knowing the weather ahead of time and knowing when to turn up a little bit, to ramp it up a little bit, is valuable.
So let's talk about this, Do you think the reason why you said your average size Peirce Phelps client relationship, I call them companies, HVAC companies, contractors, do you think the reason why they don't break that 2.5 million mark is probably marketing, understanding business, not understanding how to scale an organization? What do you think is the biggest hurdle for a lot of these? Because the majority of companies are under $1 million in your industry. We both know that. You get to that 2.5 million point, you still really don't have something tangible to sell. We've talked about that. People are like, what are you buying? I mean, you call it the customer list and that's it. And that's not being disrespectful about the rest of the organization anyway. No. The sweet spot is, and we're going to talk about private equity firms, how they're just jumping into this space left and right, is that $10 million range. If you crack that point, you got a serious number coming to you.
Correct.
Okay, why do you think people are struggling to scale? Because every business owner should wanna grow, right?
It's really comes down to people. There's not enough people. There's not enough service techs. There's not enough installers. If they can get more people, they would grow. But they're stuck because they can't find more people. And this is actually something that we've been doing with some of our contractors. Little secret here. We use digital marketing campaigns to recruit.
Of course. So does 75% of my clients.
Well, they're smart.
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. I mean, where's everybody at? Facebook, Instagram. I mean, even your contractors, your techs, right? I mean, think about this. Right now, your average tech is probably, I'm going to assume, 35 to 45. Average tech, right? Going on in the industry right now, that's probably what the average age is. Everyone, there's people on Facebook, and it's not everyone, but you know what I'm saying. Facebook, Instagram. They're probably not on LinkedIn. Why would you not be on Facebook? You said it's a people thing. I think it's what you said. These people don't understand you can go find new employees on Facebook and Instagram, just like every other organization is doing right now. But you can't just post organically and think it's going to happen. You're going to have to put paid money behind it. No different than hiring a recruiting company.
The other thing we recommend is, 2020 couldn't do it because schools were closed, but geofencing, not gender specific, age specific, students.
100%.
VOTEC schools, things like that. So if you can get them young and train them young right out of VOTEC school, you got a shot.
You got a good shot. And what we started doing also, telling our clients, is if you're going to spend money on Facebook ads, you're going to spend money on other things or marketing to get people in the door, do internal employee referrals and say, listen, I'm going to give you a $15 sign-on bonus. I'm going to give the employee a $15 sign-on bonus. And after a year, you both get an additional $2,500. Now you have people that are going to want to stay for that money, so it's making the employee a little bit more sticky. Because let's be realistic, a service tech and a good salesperson in this industry could quit tomorrow. They're going to have a job tomorrow.
So one more thing, culture. If a company has culture, and you give me a tour of your office here today, and you definitely have some culture here. You have some fun things for your employees to do here, and you have snacks, jars of candy, and energy drinks, and culture is important. And if you have good company corporate culture, people will also want to come work for you. So that's another important thing that I think those $2.5 million dealers don't really embrace.
And I think what I see the biggest thing is they don't understand marketing, but they don't understand communicating down to their employees what their vision of growth is. Makes sense? I talk about it all the time. You have to be a leader, talk to people about where you're going, what you're doing, because sooner or later you're going to feel stagnant on my floor no matter how many fucking Snickers I give you. I mean, no one cares. I mean, sooner or later you might leave because I give you too many Snickers, right?
Right.
I mean, no shot at Snickers. I mean, I'm a Reese's Pieces person myself, but the floor is great, but you gotta let people know, hey, we're growing, what we're doing, what's it? Because everybody wants to advance. Like when I'm interviewing and someone gets to my table, I ask them, why are you leaving? I feel like I can't grow my career there. Suddenly do I hear my boss is a jerk or these other things you hear, but normally I don't feel like I have any more growth.
Right.
I mean, that's pretty scary. So let's talk about, what do you think is the most essential thing? What do you think the biggest problems? Actually, let's talk about this. Why do you think private equity firms are jumping in like they have over the last few years? Horizon gets bought, right? In less than 3 years, I think, they buy their biggest and second biggest HVAC company here, which is my client, Hutchinson, in the marketplace right here. Makes sense? Why do you think private equity firms, and then Sunbelt that bought Horizon originally was bought by another private equity firm. Why do you think they're jumping in so fast and heavy?
Well, let's just keep it real. It comes down to dollars. If you're running a good company and you can make money, it's a good investment. Why would you not want to invest in an HVAC company that's ran properly? Especially now, we came out of a crisis and we're coming out of a crisis, and there's been a rosy side of the crisis. There's been a lot of pent-up frustration. People are home now. They want to have a comfortable heating and air conditioning system. They want to have indoor air quality products because they're learning all about that now because of the COVID. And they're willing to invest in their homes, and they want to make the heating and air conditioning equipment installed right away.
Now, so the reason I believe private equity people are jumping in, because I always say follow the money, and you're going to get some pretty interesting. And let's be honest, private equity people are some of the our politicians should all have to have private equity backgrounds because we'd function a lot better, just a lot better.
Wait, let me drink some more of this energy drink you gave me because now you're going to fire me up.
So listen, it's the truth, right? I'll fire all them too, but that's actually. But private equity, think about this, right? Their job is to make money. That's their whole job. There is no feel good. There is no excuse on why you didn't get done in private equity. It's just we're going to get here. This is what our EBITDA is going to be. This is our multiplier. We reach gross number. We sell, right? There's a shortage of techs and people that want to work in this industry because we live in a world where college is king, which I think is bullshit, but I have respect for college. Service techs are making $150,000, $125,000. Installers are making $100,000. Great sales guys in these organizations are making $300,000, $400,000. There's going to keep being a shortage because we're still pumping college to everyone. College. Go find a painter. It's a 2-month wait right now.
Sure.
Go find a roofer. It's wait. Everyone's away except for this industry right now, which is going to get harder and harder. It's going to become a wait. I think they see the writing on the wall. Let's just say the average Bryant unit cost to install from a decent organization. I'm not about the guy in the truck that
right.
it's going to rip you off, but a Bryant probably average.
We call them Chuck in a truck. No disrespect to Chuck, but
yeah.
Dan in the van. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's not who's doing my house or someone's house that's smart. But that's besides the point. That average unit's probably $8,000 to $10,000 to install. Let's just say, right? Ballpark.
Yes.
I truly believe 10 years from now that unit will be $20,000 to install, and not because
I agree with you.
Not because of the pricing of material. It's going to be the labor rate.
Both,
but the material is going to go up somewhat.
Material's going through the roof right now.
It is, but that has to stop, right? Or just you don't put themselves out of a market. We'll talk about everyone buying everyone right now. The manufacturers are all buying each other, and we can talk about that. But when you think about this, though, private equity firms see this. They see the money, and they see the returning customers. I always talk about life value of a customer, life value of a client acquisition. Why don't people in your industry see that? Because private equity firms see it.
First off, a heating and air conditioning system is supposed to last 20 years if it's properly maintained. Mm-hmm. How many people stay with a car for 20 years, an automobile? Not 20 years. They don't blink an eye spending $50,000 for a car. But something that is in your house that's pumping the lungs and heart of your home and your health of your home and you as a human being in your home, they cringe when they hear $10,000. Mm-hmm.
But you say they're supposed to last 20 years, and I've always said this, then why is the longest manufacturer warranty pretty much 10 years?
That's hedge.
Okay, but I'd be willing to bet you the average unit in someone's home, probably gets replaced 10 to 12 years.
7 to 10.
7 to 10. Even faster.
So the average homeowner will probably buy 2 systems in their lifetime and for their house.
2 systems. So let's just say some homes have 2 systems. Where you were.
That'd be 4 then.
But 2. So you're looking at literally somewhere between the client value is $20,000 to $50,000.
Right.
That doesn't include your maintenance agreement. Right, your monthly recurring maintenance agreement. It doesn't include any repairs.
Correct.
All these other things. That's where the private equity firms see it, and other people just don't understand the business.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
I mean, is that a different perspective than what other people you're talking to? Why private equity is jumping in? Because I truly believe that's the reason why private equity is jumping in.
They see the future. They know where it's going to be. They know there's a shortage. They know it's going to cost more. They know they're going to make more.
It's pretty simple because they were only investing in tech companies for the most part.
Correct.
Up to about 3-4 years ago. And then the pendulum just
They all want a piece of HVAC all of a sudden,
And electrical.
and
It's
electrical,
another big one.
and probably plumbing.
Well, plumbing I consider with HVAC.
Okay,
I know
okay.
you consider them two different disciplines, but I've always said if you're going to be in the HVAC business, you might as well be in the plumbing business. Even though they're totally two different trades,
It makes your company diverse.
it makes it diverse, and you get a bigger customer base. And the one thing I say about this,
You sell one, you sell them the other one.
the shitter's never a quitter. It is going to break down on you sooner or later. I say it all the time.
People panicked over toilet paper.
You know, well, it's funny. Do you know the busiest time of the year for plumbers? It's literally 3 days of the busiest time of the year.
I want to say Thanksgiving.
It is. It's the week before Thanksgiving. Everyone's getting ready. People are coming over. It's like that 3-4 days. Families over. Toilets are clogged. I mean, it's amazing what you find out in this
Yep.
industry, right?
Yes,
But-
yes.
So, what do you think? You know, so we talked about the private equity thing. Another big thing going in your industry right now is the lag time for, right? I mean, a lot of the good companies are doing same day install, next day install. They don't want to be more than 3 days out max.
Good luck with that right now. It was beginning of 2020 March. Everybody shut down. Manufacturers had manufacturing plants shut down. The plants shut down because of COVID more than once. It was an industry problem. There was a shortage of equipment getting to distribution. This year, if you were smart as a distributor, you loaded up, and we're loaded up to the gills right now. We're good. Some other distributors in the country are not. They didn't forecast well enough. They're already in trouble. Cargo ships that bring ductless over from Asia to the United States, there's a shortage of cargo ships that get put on the freighters that bring the stuff over for ductless splits. That's a problem right now. Circuit boards are potentially a problem, and that's just not our industry. That's the refrigeration. That's the automobile business.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Automobiles can't manufacture cars right now because they don't have chips, microchips. So being able to put a job in tomorrow is probably going to work for about 3 months, and then I can see it being difficult towards the end of the year.
So your company's here that are $2.5 million. That's your average size. But you and I both know if you want to grow, you have to have that install in 48, 72 hours because the callback cancel rate is so high. It just is. By the time you commit the 10 grand to me, you met someone that says I can beat that price or call this company or it's a big investment, right? What would you tell everyone that doesn't want to wait a week for a unit, or would
The
you
homeowner, you're referring to the homeowner?
No, the dealer.
The dealer? I would tell the dealer, buy as much as you can afford.
Buy as much as you can afford. So, is Peirce Phelps willing to help your dealers? Say, I know you can't help everyone, right? Someone's doing $1 million with you for the last 10 years. There's really no growth upside to that account to you. Not being rude. It's just they haven't taken the initiative to grow, so why would you?
We do due diligence in trying to keep everybody the same. We try to keep everything fair.
I understand it's fair, but you and I both know if Hutch calls over Chuck in the truck, Hutch is getting the equipment. I mean, you'd say it's not, but I can tell you this, Lance Bachman Inc., that's going down that way.
If we have the equipment, we will allot it if we think there's a problem. Yes, so that could potentially happen.
Okay, so what does these $2.5 million companies, $5 million, should they just, do you have consignment? Do you have net 90? I mean,
we do some terms. We do some consignment. We're not a big fan of consignment. Okay. If a contractor doesn't have a strong inventory control management system in place, we have no desire to do a consignment, because if they don't have control over our inventory in their shop, then we're not interested in doing a consignment.
Do you do, which we're going to talk about inventory systems right now. Next, we're going to jump into it. You put up a big pain point, which I appreciate. So, will you do same day? I heard you guys have pods now. You're dropping stuff off in pods.
We are looking into the pod delivery system where we will take the garbage, the waste away as well.
So we'll you're coming up with something just so disruptive, because that's the first time I'm hearing of that. Is that a Watsco's thing or is that a Peirce thing?
That's a Peirce thing that we're testing right now.
So you're saying, okay, I'm going to go deliver a system to you, everything, installed ducts, whatever it may be.
The night before.
The night before, pod lands in the customer's driveway.
Yep.
Most jobs are a day to two max. I mean, let's be realistic. You're in and out in a day or two. They just don't even have to get a dumpster, don't have to lug any trash away. Here's the old unit, here's everything, take it away.
Correct.
That is going to be a game changer, especially.
Assuming you can find truck drivers.
Wow. Well, I mean, they got to stop giving the free money out sooner or later. That has to stop.
That's the number one issue for distribution.
Oh, well,
Drivers.
why would you work for it? I don't want to get into the whole political
No, I know,
thing
I
right
know.
now.
I
That's
just-
just,
that's-
I mean, why would you work? I appreciate that you're working. You're here with me, Carl. I really do. So let's talk about the inventory management system.
Yep.
Right? Give me a company you see does it well. Give me a company you saw do it well.
Hutchinson does it really well.
They do. Fred's a machine. Fred's an animal.
Summers and Zims out in Ackland, Pennsylvania, they do it really well. JK Mechanical out in Lancaster, they do it really well.
For our viewers, do you know what systems they're using?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
So, like, I know Alicia and Pete Green are using, down at Go Green, they're using Service Titan, and they're using their own Excel. Pretty much you got to bring it in, punch it in, and goes out. They have everything loaded for the techs on the truck, installs, so their people aren't actually touching things themselves, which is the way to do it. I mean, if you really think
Yeah, we're
about it.
barcoding. We barcode the stuff in the contractor's warehouse, and they scan it with a gun, and then it just gets sent to us, and we replenish.
So you guys you'll control someone's warehouse yourself?
Yes,
So you're almost going with like a Johnstone model. We'll come in, we'll be your inventory control system for you?
more or less, yes. They tell us what they want. We give them a recommendation of what we think they will use, and then they
Based on
tell
what
us
they bought before.
pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, so
6 trucks, what should you have on the 6 trucks? What should you have in your warehouse?
so there you go. Now, at least you know Peirce Phelps. I mean, you're here. I might as well give you a little plug. Appreciate you coming
Thank
here.
you. Yeah.
Doing inventory management, that's huge, I think. Because, and I say this all the time, and just not being rude, if you ever walked into a bar or restaurant and the bartender gives you a free drink, that's stealing. The odds of him taking money out or her out of their own pocket and putting it in a register. Now, some owners give you a 3 to 5% of what you ring to put in there as comps. But I've never walked through the line at Acme, had 6 steaks in there, and the woman comes out, the man comes out and throws an additional 2 steaks on and says, I'm not going to charge you, thank you very much, keep going. Because they know it's stealing. Well, in this scenario, in the warehouse scenario, techs come in and they think, oh, you got 20 thermostats here, what's one? They don't even look at it as stealing. They just look at it as, it's such a crazy industry. It's really the small things, right, that wind up missing. Suddenly, you'll see a 2-ton unit walk out the door.
I'll equate that to cigarette smoking. We all know it's bad for you. You smoke cigarettes every day, a little bit at a time. Over time, it adds up. So if you know you have pilferage off your service vans or out of your warehouse, a little bit at a time, and you look the other way, it starts to add up.
Well, I was reading an article about the industry about inventory. Now, I don't know if the article stat was true, but they said the average $3 million company will lose anywhere between 3 and 5% in product a year. Now, I'm not the brightest guy in the world.
I can believe that.
3% of 100,000. Do the math.
Line sets, copper. Copper's very expensive right now.
Just do the math. So that was very surprising to me. I said, you should have an inventory control system. I know Service Titan's a decent one out there, but it's a manual process to set all this up, and that's the biggest undertaking that people don't want to invest in. Well,
So Carrier and Bryant does have a preferred partnership with Service Titan, and Watsco is a preferred partnership with House Call Pro.
would you say the majority of people are on Service Titan?
I'd say it's a mix. Service Titan tends to have larger companies like 20-some trucks. House Call Pro tends to have less.
Here's a question for you, and maybe you know this because you've been marketing so long. Why does 99.9% of the clients that use Service Titan, their shit ain't set up correctly?
I don't know the answer to that. I would think it would have something to do with onboarding.
I feel like Service Titan's almost a little bit like Salesforce. They sell you as an out-of-box solution, and you have to go out and build so much into it to make sure it's set up correctly. And Service Titan, let's be realistic, they just went off like a firecracker, right? I mean,
They still are.
They're growing like no tomorrow. Do you feel like they just might not be able to keep up with, because a private equity firm invested in the Service Titan again, correct? They just got another round?
Sorry?
Private equity firm just invested in Service Titan again, correct?
I don't recall. I don't know.
I think they just got another round of money. I feel like they can't keep up with the training of the onboarding, like you say. But then someone said to me, sometimes customers don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they ask for.
They think it's going to be right out of the box. Nothing is right out of the box.
It's not.
No, nothing.
It's not. So I mean, we're noticing that over the last 2-3 years. Service Titan, great organization. We love their product. Just it's not set up correctly over and over again, and bad data makes bad choices. I mean, that's
there's no thing that we sell that's a value add that doesn't take some kind of training.
Oh, without a doubt. You know, what's the biggest problems Peirce Phelps have had to overcome in the last 12 to 24 months with your customers?
Product availability, which was an industry problem,
No doubt.
thanks to the pandemic, and then people. We're pulling from the same pool for good counter people at our branches that contractors are pulling as fine HVAC techs. And the contractor can't find HVAC techs, and we can't find people that are experienced to work behind the counter that understand all the millions of parts that are needed to turn a system into a system, or how to replace it and repair it. And then drivers. Can't find drivers.
What do you think, about an organization like Nexstar, JSI? Why do you think so many people are not in these organizations?
That's a good question. I think there's value to having things like that. We actually tried that at Peirce Phelps. We had a group called Service Shore, and it was a group of 15 to 25 dealers that would get together and share ideas, share concepts, share philosophies, buy together. I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't know.
I look at CEO Warrior, Nexstar, JSI, and I see their models work. Companies grow if they're engaged. If
the owner of the company, HVAC contractor, signs up for something and doesn't take it under his wing and makes it part of his culture, it will fail.
Without a doubt.
So if you own an HVAC contractor company or a plumbing company and you bring something into your company, if you don't own it and wear it, it's going to fail.
I think that's anywhere. So we actually have, and you saw in Lion Reporting, we're building out an engagement tool because we know the more the client engages with us, the stickier they are. We have the data, we have the numbers. The less sticky they are, the higher the churn. And you said, well, what happens if they're less sticky? I said, I was going to double it.
Right.
And you said, how are you going to get away with that? I said, because they're going to churn either way. If I don't have you engaged, it makes it very easy for some moron to come tell you one little thing's wrong, and you're up in arms.
Yeah, you had showed me, and correct me if I'm wrong, if they were below a certain point, you would ask them to engage more. If they didn't want to engage more, then you basically, correct me if I'm wrong, you said then we're not interested in furthering this relationship because our system in place will not work unless you're willing to be a partner.
Correct. Well, because it's, like you said, how could you not be? This is, first of all, you always hear set it and forget it. Can you do that in digital marketing?
No.
Okay.
It always changes. It changes from minute to minute. That's the coolest thing I've learned in the last 5-7 years is every time I'm learning something about the digital world, my real world makes more sense.
So let's talk about what you've seen over 29 years of doing marketing. I mean, I'm assuming you started out phone book, billboards, talk about that.
Yeah. So I still think you have to have we're still selling to multi-generational people. The baby boomers, the greatest generation, the Gen Xers, the Gen Yers, the millennials, and whatever the heck the next one's called. Millennials are now in their late 30s. That's mind-boggling. That millennials that we used to all kind of cut up and stuff, skinny jeans and things like that, but they're now
I can see you in a set of skinny jeans.
No, I don't wear skinny jeans. So the millennials are like the it generation now, they want to buy, they want to spend, but they like to spend on a fixed amount per month because everything they do is, the cell phone, what they pay per month, how much they stream. I think you have to have a very diverse. You have to do postcards. You have to do postcards when you're doing digital marketing. You have to wrap it around. You have to do digital postcards on Facebook. You have to do digital postcards with website retargeting. It's creepy how you can get somebody's email and actually email their house and actually then send them postcards. People don't understand. Most people don't understand. Well, how do they get my email? How do they get my address? Well, these things that we carry around with us, these cell phones, which I can't get out of my skinny jeans pocket right now. These are tracking devices. They leave breadcrumbs. They leave footprints everywhere we go. And when people fill out online surveys or free apps, they don't read the fine print. They don't know what they're giving up, and then they got you.
No doubt.
So that's how they get to email your house. They get to send you a postcard. They get to send the 6-pack digitally around your house. That's old school talk. In the old school, used to take a hanger and take a pamphlet and go around 6 houses this way, 6 houses that way. Now
a lot of people still do that with swag bags.
And I say to still do it, but you need to do it on Facebook. You need to do it on website retargeting, and it's taking the old school mentality and incorporating it into new school, the digital world.
Here's a question for you. So you guys offer co-op, cashback, rebates, all that, right?
Yes.
How many of your people do you think actually even understand it and maximize it?
We have to remind people that they have co-op dollars.
Is that amazing to you?
Yeah, it blows my mind.
Like, I see the program, and I'm like, how is everyone not maximizing this? And then don't ask me about it. I'm like, I know it. I know it inside and out from every brand. I'm like, how do you not know it? This is your business. I'm just the digital marketing cat.
Well, I'll tell you the disconnect there is a lot of times the people that answer the phones, the CSRs, they don't even know what the rebates are. That's scary.
I mean, that's what would you do? How do you fix that? Because that's a problem. Because that's hurting them from scaling. That's your way of showing we're partnering with you. We want you to grow.
Has to do with the owners. The owners don't embrace it. The owners don't own it. They don't culture it through their company. Financing should be talked about on the initial phone call all the way through to the sale. It should be plastered all over everybody's website. The owner has to, you can't be an absentee owner. If you want to just stay in the van and do installs and not be a business person, then you're not going to grow.
No doubt. No doubt about that. I mentioned Johnstone earlier, and that's probably Peirce Phelps' biggest competition.
They're a good competitor.
Good competitor. What would you say, besides you, separates Peirce Phelps from them for our viewers? Because
we bring value. We've been cramming it down our dealers' throats. We've been trying to get them prepared for the digital world. We've been doing this for 12, 15 years now. Why online reviews are so important. Why Facebook, you say Facebook, and I was a big Facebook user, and I got off right before the presidential election because I couldn't stand looking at it anymore. But it's an important avenue. Okay, so when you see a contractor cringe when you bring up Facebook or Instagram or Spotify or anything like that, you got a problem. The contractor's not living in the real world. So we cram that down their throat. I shouldn't say cram. We just keep putting it in front of them. Website retargeting, search engine optimization. We constantly are trying to help them understand that these are the things you have to do. We go out and we get partnerships with certain clients that help us do it. And they give us nice discounts for doing it. We pass the discounts through to our dealers, and that way they're a bigger dealer that way. So like a $2 million dealer, he tries to do search engine optimization or website retargeting. He tries to do it on his own. It's going to be a little more expensive. So what we'll do is we'll go to those companies and say, look, we're going to give you X. What kind of discount are you going to give us if we bring you 30 dealers? And we pass that discount through.
Nice.
So it's all about educating. They have to be educated.
Now, let's talk about that. From the dealers you see now, if you had to pick one form of marketing, whether it be billboards, television, radio, or digital marketing, was going to make the biggest impact right away, pick it.
Well, that's a tough question, Lance, because I believe in a four-tiered approach to marketing. I would say if you're not doing something to drive your business to your website, you're in trouble. You'll get lost.
So digital marketing.
Yeah, I'd say that's the number one.
And then you start working that from there.
Yep.
Not everybody has the budget to do all four. Let's be realistic. Television's still outrageous. How they're charging what they're charging just shows you how idiotic I think the majority of people are, because television is outlandish.
I'm talking to somebody right now about OTT streaming, and they tried to force a package down my throat that included TV, and I said, I do not want TV. If I'm going to do OTT streaming services, then I'm just doing streaming, I'm not doing television. And the reason why I'm looking at OTT is because my kids, they stream everything.
We do OTT here. You have to.
You have to do it.
Yeah, I just won't do television. I'm like you. I think radio. I won't do radio. I'll do Spotify. Which Pandora and Spotify are one the same now. I mean, even though they're different channels run by the same company. So like, I try and tell people, if you saw the way these people target now, it isn't what it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, OTT, Spotify. These things are hitting your customer, and they integrate with your CRM and your website, where television hasn't figured that out yet. It's amazing to me. Radio hasn't figured it out. I'm like, whoever's running these behemoths should be fired tomorrow because they are technology idiots.
We're on the same page with TV.
I mean, it's just amazing to me. What would you say is your funnest thing about marketing? What do you enjoy the most?
The stuff I'm learning. how there's something to be said when you talk in front of your phone and all of a sudden you start getting ads for what you just talked about.
It's supposed to be illegal, but it's not.
Well,
that's okay.
We all know it's supposed to be illegal, but I know it's happening. The funnest thing for marketing is finding what's behind the curtain and then seeing what works and then the data telling me it's working, if that makes any sense.
Absolutely. So on the final roar, Carl, here's a question for you.
Oh, this is the final roar? We're there?
We're there. A lot of HVAC plumbing companies are going to be watching this and other service-based industries. What would you say to them if they want to grow their business like a rocket ship? If they truly want to grow, give them the game plan. Give them the Carl game plan. 29 years. You've been in and out of the great ones, the bad ones. What would you say? Give them the game plan.
Game plan number one is to have a corporate mission statement. They don't have a corporate, and I was kind of looking for one around here when I was
walking around.
It's on our website. It's on your website.
Yeah.
You should have it on your walls.
I'll take your advice on that.
You should have it painted on one of your walls.
Tito, you hear that?
You should. So if I see a mission statement on a contractor's wall and they have corporate culture, that's the first thing that will lead to your success. People will want to work for you. And then it's okay to want to make money. There's nothing wrong with wanting to make money. This is still America and we're allowed to make money. And then the next thing is to not stop learning. It blows my mind when we bring opportunities to contractors to learn about Google, to learn about what's going on behind the curtain, and they don't attend. And if they stop learning, they're going to get lost, and they're going to get lost faster than they realize it. So they're the three things. I'm looking for mission statement, company culture, and as an owner, if you aren't engaged in learning about the stuff that's happening all around you all the time, every second, you're gonna disappear.
You heard it from Carl. A lot of experience. It's going to be very tough to find someone with as much experience as you with HVAC marketing over the last 30 years. I mean, you've seen it all. You've dealt with probably thousands of businesses now in and out of Peirce Phelps. Great organization, local here to Philadelphia area. You've been around for probably, 50 years now?
Almost 100.
Almost 100 years. So Carl, I know you're busy. I want to thank you. Make sure if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Carl. Great, nice guy, family man. Thank you so much, brother.
Make it unbelievable.
Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please don't forget to follow me at Lance Bachman on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me on Facebook at Lance Bachman Digital. And every Thursday we drop a new podcast. Don't forget to listen to it. We're giving out great content. And remember this is the time to build your business right now. Let's effing go, everybody.